Merry Christmas, Jit. It is Christmas Eve, and we have Raider 4 Week 2 coming at you. So, going into next week, some things that I want to do, some like to dos I have for myself, are to adjust my workout schedule so I can be getting proper rest between each workout. Right now, I have it where I'm working out 3 days in a row, resting, then working out, and then resting 2 days. What I would like to do is lift 2 days in a row, rest, lift 2 days in a row, rest 2 days. So, gotta adjust that and figure it out with school starting after the holidays here. I'm going to be away from my normal like living situation from the 27th to the 2nd of January. So definitely got to figure out how to get some lifts in on vacation. But yeah, let's get right into it. My top set ends up being 190 for 12, and I do 160 for 12 for three back down sets, except I actually fail on the 12th rep of the last set, which I have on video, you'll see. Not too much else to talk about on this day, other than I think I had a little bit of shoulder pain on my right shoulder, but we'll talk about that more for the incline. The last thing I'll say about my bench day is that during the push ups, my shoulder was also bothering me. I ended up losing a few reps on the last set. Is what it is. Getting into the deadlift stuff, I lost the footage for the top set, is what it is. The top set was 275 for 9 and felt good. I used straps on the top set, but for my back downs, I'm trying to go as long as I can without using straps. Still kind of pausing at the knee, experimenting with that. I think when I switched all of my exercises going into Raider 4, I switched too many things at once. I think that doing a regular pull up is just been good for my back. I think that my physique and my strength, I still need that for the carryover to my bench and stuff too. I think this will also help with the shoulder pain that I've been having on incline, but I'll get into that later. During my hamstring curls, something that I was thinking about was just rep quality in general. I feel like my rep quality of my hamstring curls, the lying hamstring curls, has just gone up as I've been training. And I think that's part of the reason that the weight hasn't always gone up. But I think, what it comes down to is just effort and stuff like that. And that's important that I'm getting that. And then for my Bulgarian split squats, something that I noted is just having these like accessory movements that are also almost like hard compound movements at the end of a session, and then throughout the session sprinkling in easier movements, so you're still like working but you're recovering from your like main movement. So like on this deadlift day, I'm deadlifting heavy at the beginning, and then I'm doing like pull ups and inverted rows while my lower body is like resting. I do these hamstring curls, and now I've had like, which this is like a machine exercise, which is a bit easier on my central nervous system and stuff like that, because I had this super hard deadlift for my hamstrings already. Then the last movement is this almost compound lift Bulgarian split squat, where it's just like a squat pattern for one leg at a time, where I can be more specific about it, like the movement in general. But it's also like way less stable than any of these other accessory movements, and it's like something you can really go like all the way in effort. Anyways, that's just something I was thinking about. Moving into the incline day, this is the day where I had really bad shoulder pain. So I still moved the needle on my top set from 155 for 12 to 160 for 12. This time I didn't lose the footage for my top set like my deadlift, but I was just with people, so I didn't record it, but I have the back down. Then my back downs, the three were supposed to be three sets of 135 for 12 reps, but on the last set I only got to 10 reps, which is even farther than where I failed on my bench. My bench, I felt way better about the movement in general. My shoulder wasn't bothering me as much, but on this incline day, it was really bugging me. Every rep of that 160, my shoulder hurt immensely, and the back downs I thought were getting good, but then that last one was really tough. And this ended up bothering me even until I was like at the very last exercise of the day, which is incline dumbbell. Something about just moving in this like front plane with my shoulder that I broke my collarbone, like this side, has just not been agreeing with me. So I think at some point I need to go to a doctor and get it x-rayed and maybe see if I should do anything about it, because it hasn't really bothered me as much as now. But that's just something that I'll have to keep an eye on. This is also something I think going back to regular pull-ups will help with. Because if you think about it, when I'm doing my incline bench, this is probably about how far out my arms are. And when I'm doing a pull-up, this is probably about how far out my arms are. And they're just, they're like, I think it's antagonistic movements. Like one is, they're the same movement pattern, but one is pushing and the other is pulling. And so I think maybe it's because I'm doing 3 days in a row and incline is the last of these 3 days and I'm resting like I was talking about at the beginning with my workout schedule. But also maybe it's going to these chin-ups where this is it and everything is right here in front of me. You see this? I'm kind of like, when I do the pull-ups or the chin-ups, I kind of try to lean back. So when I'm doing pull-ups, I was like super bicep, like lean back. Like of course there's going to be some back, but I just wanted to emphasize the biceps to solve this bicep issue I was having. But then when I was doing the pull-ups, if I do the pull-ups and lean back, it's very similar to incline, because if I incline, I'm like this on the bench and I'm pushing up, and then pull-ups, gangsta lean back, so it's like that. Whatever. I think that I need to go back to the pull-ups. I think it was my saving grace for my shoulder. I hear so much about how good like hanging for you is and stuff like that, and just having like behind the head shoulder mobility. So we're going back to pull-ups. Long story long, we're going back to pull-ups. Jesus. The dip I've been restricted on too, just because of my shoulder and these far ranges of motions, and this is just something that wasn't happening before. So I don't know if it's just because I'm getting stronger or if I did something to it or what's going on, but I'm just like super surprised by this shoulder pain. It's really just been affecting my loading on upper body exercises. Watching back my squat from last week, I was disappointed with the depth that I got on my top set, which I was surprised by because it wasn't supposed to be so hard of a set. So with this 285 for 9, I put 10 pounds on the bar from last week, and I tried to get better depth than last week, and the back downs are 240 for 9, focusing on a pause at the bottom, and I have the last back down set for you guys on video. I've really been liking the chest supported row. It's been awesome. I feel like I can go super hard on it. It's much easier on the rest of my body compared to how the cable row was, because, I would have to use my abs and my low back to stabilize myself throughout the movement, or I would even be moving them a little bit to get a better stretch or whatever. And now here's something I want to comment on with what I was talking about in deadlift, on my deadlift session days, where I do like these accessories that are more stable, and then I end with like almost like a hard compound movement. On my squat days now, I think because squat is my farthest ahead mechanically movement, like it's just the movement that I can load the most and that I'm the best at, so I can fatigue myself the most with it. I think that changing my hack squat to just a leg extension is like totally cool for me, and it really saves my fatigue throughout the week. Then when I end with hip thrust, I can put more effort into that than I would have before. So anyways, that's it. That's the week in review. Thank you guys for listening. Happy holidays again. Have a good one.